Are you a business owner who sucks at managing people in your business? Let's find out. Kevin Weir, your Action Business Coach. And see, here's the challenge that a lot of business owners have is that very few of them have ever been taught how to manage employees. You see, as a business owner, we usually start off as a one-person business. Then we hire our first person. And then from there, you hire another person and another person. Next thing you know, you have a team of employees. Does that mean that you're instantly good at management? No. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But I have found 4 ways that we can tell if you suck at managing people. Now, mind you, there's probably a lot of other indications that you might not do well at managing people. But over the years of experience, I have found that these 4 right here are the main indicators if you suck at managing. Number 1, lack of productivity of your employees. Your employees are not producing the level of output that needs to happen in order for you to be profitable. How would you know your employee productivity is low? Well, part of it is take a look at your financials. If your labor percentages are way too high for your industry, that's a good solid indicator that your employees are not producing. Another good indicator is what is it exactly they produce? If you have an employee who's supposed to make 30 widgets a day and they're only averaging 20 widgets a day, lack of productivity. So part of the challenge here is that you need to measure. You need to find out what they're supposed to be doing in order for them to be productive. Part of lack of productivity is also lack of training and lack of knowledge. You have not trained them well. So the whole thing of lack of productivity is typically lack of training, lack of skills, lack of systems, all sorts of things that ultimately show us that your employees aren't producing. Now, the second thing that we can tell if you suck at management is you don't hold your employees accountable. You're not somebody who might be the nice guy, and you avoid conflict at all costs, and so you let your employees get away with not doing things you know they should be doing but are not. And you can tell inside of yourself if you're very conflict adverse. And so you have to basically hold yourself accountable going, yeah, I don't like holding people accountable. I don't like telling them that they're supposed to do it some way else. So you have to basically realize, yeah, that's not good for me. So the third way we can tell if you suck at management is that you lose your temper way too often. Now we go to the other extreme. You're somebody who pops a cork almost every time somebody doesn't do it what you would perceive to be the right way. Some people would think that your favorite phrase in life might be the beatings will increase until morale improves. Yeah, chuckle, ha ha ha. And you have to be honest and admit to yourself that when you lose your temper, you are degrading the effectiveness of your employees on your team. In an ideal world, you know how many times you lose your cool? Yeah, that would be 0. Now, we are human, and that does happen. But if you're losing your cool once a day, maybe even once a week, that has a negative impact on your team. Now, the fourth way, and probably the most important way we can tell if you suck at managing employees, is that your employee turnover ratio is much higher than the industry average. So let's give an example here. I used to be in the fast food industry. And one of the things that we knew is that typically you have a 100% employee turnover. So in other words, if you have a staff of 40, you're going to be hiring 40 people a year. And in the fast food world, that's just normal. One of the things I prided is that I kept my number below 50%. Why? Because I knew that the longer I retained employees, the more productive they would be. Back to reason number 1. So the whole idea here is that you need to measure that And if your employees are leaving you at a faster rate than normal, that might be an indicator that you really suck at management. Now you may think, they can go away. Bye-bye. I could care less if they quit. I'll go out and find somebody else. Here's the problem with that, is that how much energy do you pour into training a person and bringing them up to speed? When you have a higher rate of turnover than your industry average, that tells the world that people don't want to work for you long term. Yeah, we are going to have people that's going to leave. And turnover is inevitable. It's going to happen. But if you're way too high of an employee turnover, that's a good indicator that you suck at management. Now, let's review these 4 ways that you can tell that you suck at management. Number 1, lack of productivity of your employees. Number 2, you don't hold your employees accountable. Number 3, you lose your temper way too often. And number 4, your employee turnover is much higher than your industry average. If you have any one of those 4 areas in your management skill sets as a business owner, you need to deal with them. Now, how do you deal with them? Basically, you're going to have to learn how to be a better manager. You're going to have to figure that out on your own. You can read books, you can talk with some people who might be better managers, or you can actually go through a course to be an excellent manager. Now, one of the things that we offer here is we offer a 12-week management course, which teaches you how to manage your people effectively. Management is a system, and it's a skill that you can learn. And part of what we're going to do is we're going to train you how to be a great manager, because if you can't be a great manager, you're not going to be a great business owner. Now, if you want more information on how to get into this 12-week management class, or you just want to talk with me about how you potentially could be a better manager, why don't you click below. That's going to be a slot that you can get to talk with me. I'll talk you through how to be a better manager, what does the 12-week management course entail, and see if it's a good fit for you. Go out there, become the best manager that you can be as a business owner.